Today, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar, in the subject of the operation management, will talk about the strategy in the operation management. The strategy in the operation management is the competitive strategy. Corporate strategy and objective have a major impact in determining the different operational parameters at the corporate level. We have discussed some of these in the previous section. However, there are many other factors and the list may differ from one organization to the next and between different time periods for an organization as well. The principal impact on these parameters come from competitive strategy. Corporate strategy and competitive strategy from a hierarchy of the strategy. Corporate strategy are connected with the type of the business the organization is in, its overall competitive position, and how the resources of organization have to be deployed. The business strategy are basically competitive strategy. The objective of these strategy are about how to compete successfully in particular markets and how can the business units acquire competitive advantage. Sun Tuju, a Chinese strategy and general, made an observation in the art of the war. The more opportunity that I seize, the more opportunity that multiply before me. This phenomena is that heart of the strategy. Organization compete successfully by seizing opportunity at the business unit level. The strategic decision that the organization need to be take is how will it place its product in the marketplace, what will be the basis for it to gain competitive advantage. Organization achieve competitive advantage by providing their customers with what they want or need better or more effectively than competitors, and in ways the competitors find difficult to imitate. The strategy for each organization is unique, reflecting the particular circumstances it faces. There are two schools of the thought on developing competitive strategy. On the one hand, the concept of the generic strategy is promoted by the strategic thinkers like Mike Porter. On the other hand, Prahlad and Hamel promote the resources-based approach. However, we will be lay greater emphasis on generic strategy as these are industry focused and reflect more closely the requirements of the operation management strategy. In order to succeed in this, organizations have found many offensive and defensive action to defend their opposition in the industry and cope with the competitive forces. There are two basic types of the competitive advantage a firm can possess: low cost or differentiation. The two basic types of the competitive advantage combined with the scopes of the activity for which a firm seeks to achieve them lead to three internally consistent generic competitive advantage. These strategies are cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategy. The third type of the competitive strategy, focus strategy, has two variants: cost focus and differentiation focus. These strategies can be used by organization to outperform competition and defend its position in the industry. The generic competitive strategy are shown in the figure below. These strategies need to be examined in conjunction with the competitive capability of the organization and the external environment. Effectively implementing any of the generic competitive advantage usually requires total commitment and determined organizational support from the operation management. There needs to be compatibility between corporate level strategy and strategy at the operational level. Competitive scope, broad target, narrow target, competitive advantage, lower cost, differentiation, cost leadership, differentiation, cost focus, differentiation focus. Cost leadership strategy, a firm pursuing a cost leadership strategy attempts to gain a competitive advantage primarily by reducing its economic cost below that of the competitors. This policy, once achieved, provides high margins and a superior return on investment. The skills and resources required to be successful in this strategy are sustained capital investment and access to capital, superior process engineering skills, good supervision and motivation of its labor force, product design for ease in the manufacturing and low cost distribution system. The organization attempts to exploit economies of the scale of the aggressive construction of efficient economy of scale through volume of the production and specialized machine, volume of production and cost of the plant and equipment, volume of the production and imply specialization, volume of production and overhead cost. The strategy requires tight cost control. This is often done by using a full costing method or activity-based costing with frequency and detailed control reports. The structure of the organization should be clear-cut and responsibility clear laid out. Organization often provides incentives based on meeting strict quantitative targets, etc. In order to remain a cost leader, the firm attempts to avoid those factors that can cause the economies of scale to be affected. It has to be worked within the physical limits to efficient size, work motivation, and focus on markets and supplier. Sometimes in restricted geographical areas, firms that are known to have successfully used this strategy in a number of their businesses include Black & Decker, Texas Instruments, and DuPont. The low-cost producer strategy works best when buyers are large and have significant bargaining power. Price competition among rival sellers is a dominant competitive force. The industry's product is a standard item readily available from a variety of sellers. There are not many ways to achieve product differentiation that have value to the buyer, and when buyers incur low switching costs in changing from one seller to another and are prone to shop for the best prices. A low-cost leader is in the strongest position to set the floor on market price, and this strategy provides attractive defenses against competitive forces. Its cost position gives it a defense from the competitors because its lower cost means that it can still earn returns after its competitors have competed away their profits through rivalry. It is protected from powerful buyers because buyers can exert power only to the lower prices, and this will be possible only with the next most efficient competitor. Lower cost providers protection against suppliers because there is more flexibility in the organization to cope with input cost increases. Any new entrant will find it difficult to overcome entry barriers because of the scales of the economy, and as the activity taken to achieve low cost are both rare and costly to imitate. Finally, it places the organization in favorable position when pitted against the substitute compared to the competitors in the industry. Cost leadership is valuable with buyers don't value differentiation very much. Buyers are price sensitive. Competitors will not immediately match lower prices. There are no changes in customer tastes, technology, exogenous prices, cost. There are a number of risks in using this strategy. These risks relate to the fast-changing business environment. The most important risk to the cost leadership is technological change that nullifies past investment or learning of the organization. Sometimes the inability of the management to see or anticipate the changes required in the product or market change is a risk. The organization's advantage can also be neutralized if there is a low-cost learning by industry newcomers for inflation in cost of the supplies or processes that provide the organization a competitive advantage. Differentiation and strategy. In a differentiation strategy, a firm seeks to unique in its industry along some dimensions that are widely valued by the buyers. It selects one or more attributes that many buyers in an industry perceive as important and uniquely position itself to meet these needs. Differentiation will cause buyers to prefer the company's product, services over brands of the rivals. An organization pursuing such a strategy can expect higher revenues, margins, and enhanced economic performance. The challenge is finding ways to differentiate that create value for buyers and that are not easily copied or matched by the rivals. Anything a company can do create value for the buyers, represent a potential basis for differentiation. Ways to differentiated products, services include product features, linkage between functions, timings, location convenience, product mix, links with other firms, customization, product complexity, sophistication, marketing image, service and support. Successful differentiation creates line of defense against the 5 competitive forces. It provides insulation against competitive rivalry because of the brand loyalty of customers and hence lower sensitivity to price. The customer loyalty has also provided a distincting for the new entrants who will have to overcome the uniqueness of the product or services. Competitors are not likely to follow a similar approach if buyers value the differentiated products and services. If they do, this will lead to a lose-lose situation for them. The higher returns of the strategy provides a higher margin to deal with supplier power. Buyer power is mitigated as there are no comparable alternatives. Finally, a company that has differentiated itself to the achieve customer loyalty should be better placed to compete with the substitute than its competitors. Examples: Mercedes in automobiles, Bosch in audio system, and Caterpillar in construction equipment. Competitive advantage through differentiation is sustainable if the activity taken to achieve differentiation are rare and too costly to initiate. The most appealing types of the differentiation strategy are those least subject to the quick or inexpensive initiation. Differentiation is most likely to produce an attractive, long-lasting competitive edge when it is based on the technical superiority, quality, giving customers more support services, and on the core competency of the organization. Differentiation requires the organization to have some of these skills and resources: strong marketing ability, product engineering, creative flair, corporate reputation for quality, and technology leadership. Strong cooperation from channels, strong coordination among functions, ability to attract high quality labor skills, scientists, or creative people. Differentiation strategy work best when there are many ways to differentiate the product services, and these differences are perceived by buyers to have value, or when buyer needs and use them item the diverse. The strategy is more effective when not many rivals are following a similar type of the differentiation approach. There are risks in differentiation strategy when the cost of the differentiation becomes too great, or when buyers become more sophisticated and need for the differentiation falls. Focus and the niche strategy. The generic strategy of the focus rests on the choice of the narrow competitive scopes within an industry. The focuser selects a segment or group segment in the industry or buyer groups or a geographical market and tailors its strategy to serving them to the exclusion of the others. The attention of the organization is concentrated on a narrow selection of the total market with an objective of catering to service buyers in the target niche market. The idea is that they will do a better job than the rivals who service the entire market. In functional policy of the organization is built with this in mind. There are two aspects of this strategy: the cost focus and the differentiation focus. In cost focus, a firm seeks a cost advantage in its target market. The objective is to achieve lower cost than the competitors in the serving the market. This is a low cost producer strategy focused on the target market only. This requires the organization to identify buyer segment with needs, preferences that are less costly to satisfy as compared to the rest of the market. Differentiation focus offers niche buyers something different from other competitors. The firm seeks product differentiation in its target market. Both variants of the focus of the strategy rest on the differences between a focuser's target market and other markets in the industry. The target market must either have buyers with unusual demands or else the production and delivery system that best serves the target market must differ from that of the other industry segment. Cost focus exploit differences in cost behavior in some market, while differentiation focus exploit the special needs of buyer in certain market. A focuser may do both to earn a sustainable competitive advantage through this This is difficult. Rolls-Royce in luxury automobiles and Apple computers in desktop publishing. Focus strategy is successful if the organization can choose a market niche where buyers have distinctive preferences, special requirement, unique needs, and then developing a unique ability to serve the needs of the target buyer segment. Even though the focus strategy does not achieve low cost or differentiation from the respective of the market as a whole, it does achieve this in the narrow target. However, in the market segment has to be big enough to be profitable and have adequate growth potential. The organization has to identify a buyer group or segment of a product line that demands unique product attributes. Alternatively, it has to identify a geographical region where it can make such offering. Focusing organizations develop the skills and resources to serve the market effectively. They defend themselves against challenges via the customer goodwill they have built up and their superior ability to serve the buyers in the market. The competitive power of a focus strategy is greatest when the industry has fast-growing segments that are being enough to be profitable, but small enough to be of secondary interest to the large competitors. And no other rivals are concentrating on the segment. Their position is threatened as the buyers in the segment require specialized expertise or customized product attributes. A focuser's specialized ability to serve the target market niche builds a difference against competitive forces. Its focus means that either the organization has a low-cost position with its strategic target, high differentiation, or both. The logic that has been laid out earlier for cost leadership and differentiation is also applicable here. Some of the situation and condition where a focus strategy works best are when it is costly or difficult for multi-segment rivals to serve the specialized needs of the target market niche, where no other rivals are concentrating on the same target segment, when a firm's resources don't permit it to go after a wider portion of the market, when the industry has many different segments, creating more focusing opportunity and allowing a focuser to pick out an attractive segment suited to its strength and capability. A focus strategy must beware of events that could impact the target market. This can happen when broadline multi-segment competitors may find effective ways to match the focus firm in serving the narrow targeted market, or the segment may become so appealing that it is soon crowded with eager, aggressive rivals, causing segment profits to be split. Often the niche buyers' preferences, the needs dropped more and more towards the product attributes desired by the market as a whole. This could be threatening. The focus strategy always implies some limitation on the overall market share achievable. The strategy involves a trade-off between profitability and saleable. Some aspects of generic strategy. The three generic strategies differ on the many dimensions. Implementing them successfully require different sources and skills. These have been summarized in table 2.1. Organizations pursuing different strategy will find that they attract different sorts of the people. This should result in different style of the leadership that can translate into different corporate cultures and atmosphere. Summary of the generic strategy. Generic strategy, cost leadership, differentiation, required skills and resources, sustained capital investment, capability and the access to capital, process engineering skills, intense supervision of the labor, product design for ease in manufacturing, organizational requirement, tight cost control, frequent detailed control reports, structured organization and responsibility, incentive based on meeting strict quantitative targets. Differentiation, strong marketing ability, product engineering, creative flair, strong capability in basic research, reputation for quality or technological leadership. Long tradition in the industry or unique combination of skills from other areas, strong compensation for the channels, strong coordination among functions in the R&D, product development and marketing. Subjective measurement and incentive instead of the quantitative measures. Ability to attract highly skilled labor, scientists, or creative people. Focus, combination of the above, directed at the particular strategic target, combination of the above, directed at the particular strategic target. in the organization is in the position where it is between the three strategies option, it usually takes time and sustained effort to come out this position. In spite of the fact that successfully executing each generic strategy involves different resources, strength, organizational arrangement, and managerial style, some organizations try to flip back and forth among the generic strategy. In addition, the organization would be amenable to a blurring of the corporate culture and conflicting motivation system. Obviously, this happens when organizations don't exercise their option based on their capability and limitation. An organization must take a fundamental strategic decision to select one of the three generic strategies. Failing to develop a strategy in any of the three directions will result in low profitability. You will either lose the high volume customers who demand low prices or operate with reduced profits to lure this business away from the low cost competition. It will also lose high margin businesses to competition that have achieved differentiation overall. This seems to indicate that in many industries, there is a U-shaped relationship between the profitability and market share. The profitability is high and low market share using a differentiation strategy and high market share using a cost leader strategy. Example, in the automobile industry, the profit leaders are General Motors that has a price leadership strategy, Mercedes which has a differentiation strategy. The three strategies are based on the competing differently in the market, plus they construct different type of the defenses against competitive forces. The type of risk they face are also different. However, there are two types of risk that are common to all of them. Failing to attain or sustain the strategy and erosion in the value of the strategic advantage with industry evolution. Cost leadership imposes a severe burden on the organization to keep up its position. It means the organization has to reinvest it in the modern equipment so as to keeping all the economies of scale. In addition, it must keep honing its process engineering core capability. Similarly, differentiation requires investment in a strong R&D on a continuous basis and the ability to attract the right type of the people into company. A summary of the risk for different strategic options is given in the table. Risk of the generic strategy: cost leadership, differentiation, focus. Technological change that nullifies past investment or learning, low cost learning by industry newcomers or followers through imitation, or the ability to invest in state-of-the-art facility. Inability to see required product or marketing change because of the attention placed on the cost. Inflation in cost that narrows the firm's ability to enough for a price differential to offset competitors' brand image or differentiation. The cost differential between low-cost competitors and the differentiated firm becomes too great to hold brand loyalty. Buyers' need for differentiating factors falls. This can happen when the buyers become more sophisticated. Imitation narrows perceived differentiation, a common occurrence as industry matured. The cost difference between broad range of the competitors and the focused firm widens to eliminate the cost advantage or differentiation achieved by the focus. The differences in desired product or services between the strategic target and the market as a whole narrows. Competitors find niche markets within the strategic target and outfocus the focuser. A business must adopt a strategy that enables it to secure resources needed to effectively remain at the cutting edge of the technological advancement in the pursuit of the creating and retaining the customers the firm wants. This is the first requirement history of rife with firms that fail to see new technology coming in this boost. The innovator's dilemma. Professor Calton helps explain why first-rate companies that listen to their customers are not able to respond new competitors who use disruptive technology. Christian uses the example of the diesel locomotive to illustrate how disruptive technology sneaks up until it is too late for the previously dominant firms to respond. When the diesel locomotive was introduced, it did not match the performance of the steam locomotive. Baldwin, the leading locomotive manufacturer, scoffed at this upstart and proclaimed, "They will never replace the steam locomotive." This was true for some time, but little by little, diesel locomotives improved, and before Baldwin knew it, by 1950, diesel had the lion's share of the market. By then, it was too late for Baldwin to respond. Second, the competitive advantage is also created when resources and capability owned accessibly by the organization can generate unique core competency. This advantage is sustainable due to the lack of the substitution and imitation capacity by the organization's computer. As the core competency are unique, the benefits derived from this advantage are retained inside the organization. They are not appreciated by the others. Finally, competitive advantage can come from a strong and supportive value chain. The members of the chain look at the benefits and accurate to entire value chain. Such cooperation is possible and often seen as a value chain. Increasing productivity, reducing stock at different levels, or process improvement are undertaken by members of the value chain, and the advantage that accrue benefit all members of the value chain. In addition, it is able to provide greater value to the customer, IT cycles and hero cycles. Before we discuss competitive strategy, let us review the strategy adopted by the TA cycles and the hero cycles. TA cycles looked at itself basically as a manufacturer of the bicycle. In 1962, TA cycles and capacity to manufacture 300,000 bicycles, and hero cycles had a capacity of the 25,000. In 1919, TI cycles had increased the capacity of the 25,000 vehicles, while the capacity of the hero cycles has increased. Both companies followed concentration strategy. While hero cycle invested in the assembly plant, TI cycle manufactured or most of the components in-house. The investment that TI cycle made were large in the comparison to the hero cycle. The risk involved in the building additional capacity were much higher for the TI cycles. However, TI cycles created for itself a high level of competency in R&D, quality and design in the manufacture of the bicycle. Due to this, their product development focus was on the internal development, while hero cycles use a strategy to collaborate development for its new products. The result was that they were faster to market in bringing new products, which gave them a competitive advantage. TI cycles adapted a strategy of the concentric diversification and vertical and background integration. It invested in steel tubes and strip cycle chains and its own component. It also invested small amounts in related businesses like door frames or cars, shutters, products, and auto components. Unlike the TA cycle, the hero cycle considered itself in the transportation business. Therefore, it diversified into other areas in the automotive space. This can be seen from listing of its group companies: Hero Honda Motors Limited, Hero Cycle Limited, Hero Automotive Limited, Munjal Sova Limited, Majestic Auto Limited, Hero Exports, Munjal Auto Industry Limited, Sunsun Auto Limited, Munjal Casting, Highway Industry Cars Listing, Rockwell Cycle Industry Limited, Hero Cycles, Rolling Division, Munjal Auto Component, Satyam Auto Components Limited, Hero Global Design. The group maintained its policy of minimizing risk by spreading it through the developing and promoting assembly units to support its production program. TI cycles follow the differences strategy, while Hero Cycle followed a strategy of the leadership as a competitive strategy. Both companies were extremely good in following the strategy that they have adopted. Since the TI cycles has started the cycle industry in India, the general physiology inside TI was that their leadership would continue owing to the technical sophistication of the product. Hero Cycles initially learned to make the cycle on its own and offered value for the money. It competed on price and tapped the price conscious segment. What TI Cycles lost track of was that the price conscious segment was growing much faster than the quality, durability of the conscious segment. When TI Cycle recognized its position, they found that they had not developed the competency or the network to compete effectively in the price conscious segment. This enabled Hero Cycle to strengthen its position, and the TI cycle got marginalized and was not almost forced to vacate many of its traditional markets and became a sick company. There are several generic components of the healthy company, a robust and credible strategy based on the market reality, productive, well-maintained estates, innovative products, services, and process, and a fine reputation with customers, wholesalers, dealers, governments, and the other stakeholders. Thinking about health as opposed to the technical sophistication or quality of the product or services, health management understand how to look after company today in a way that will ensure that they remain strong in the culture. It focuses the mind on what must to be done today to deliver the outcome of the long-term performance. Company not focusing enough on managing the health of their business often lose out, as the case of the TI cycle. Self-assessment, fill in the blank. Low-cost producer strategy works best when their buyers are large, have significant power. Successful depreciation creates against the five competitive forces. The generic strategy of the focus rests on the choice of a competitive scope within an industry.